At this time, I would like to ask you all to stand and remove your hats as Lamont Banks comes up and leads us in our national anthem. Should I just... Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you, Lamont. Excellent. Please remain standing, and I would like to invite the senior class vice president, Ms. Sky Craner, to the stage, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Sky, come on up.
Hello. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you. All right. At this time, I would like to invite you all to have a seat. Graduates, please have a seat. Again, if you came in late, just want to let you know there's a hydration station in the back if you have a water bottle. Please take care of yourself. It is hot out here today. My name is Robert Ithaburn, and I'm the principal here at Alameda High School. And I'd just like to welcome you all here today to this momentous occasion. I want to tell you that in February, we didn't think this would be happening. In March, we thought it would be happening, but we thought it would be 2 ceremonies because we couldn't have that many people in the venue. By the end of April, we had sort of gotten permission to have 1 ceremony with everybody in here. The numbers have continued to improve to the point that today, one of our esteemed guests invited you to remove your masks if you are fully vaccinated. And so I want to reiterate that. Speaking of esteemed guests, I would like to give some welcomes. First of all, to you, family members and loved ones. Thank you for coming and sharing this day with us. I'd also like to welcome and thank our AUSD Board President, Ms. Mia Bonta. Our AUSD Board Vice President, Ms. Jen Williams. Our Chief of Student Services, Ms. Kirsten Zazo. And our superintendent who led us through this historic year, balloons popping for you, Mr. Pasquale Scadetti. Every year the senior class chooses one staff member to come up and give what we call the inspirational speech. This is especially special this year because they chose a teacher who graduated from Alameda High School in 1977. Oh, that's classified, he said. So we have a Hornet here on stage. But it is also special because this is his last graduation with us, as he is retiring and he and his wife are relocating out of state. So with that being said, I would like to invite Mr. Mike Carlson to the podium. Mike.
Powerhouse of the South. Just shocking. Good afternoon. I want to thank the senior class for inviting me to speak today. As Robert just mentioned, it's especially appropriate because you are not the only ones leaving Alameda High today. Today is my last day as well. We will share how it feels to celebrate our time here, a place that we know all so well, and how it feels to venture out into the unknown. Frankly, I think you're better prepared for that than I am. You're young, you've got energy, adaptability. Those are skills that you have and you should leverage in your future endeavors. However, there is one area where I may have the edge. I am not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to look silly. I'm not afraid to hear the word no, nor am I afraid of not knowing anything. This was not always the case. Back when phones had cords, my ideas on failure were probably more in line with yours. You've spent your entire life trying to avoid failure because failure's bad, right? Yet I've learned it all depends on why one fails. Was there proper preparation for the task? Was the effort there? If those answers are no, then yes, those are bad failures, and they will stick out and be noticed by family, friends, and bosses. On the other hand, what if those boxes were checked? Fully prepared? Check. Put heart and soul into it? Check. In these cases, failure could still occur. It's not fair. You know what? It happens to everybody. It's part of growth. It's part of life. It means you're getting out of your comfort zone and learning something you didn't know before. In fact, this is precisely the type of failure that many companies are now encouraging. Innovation is how successful companies and people stay successful. Yet innovation is not easy. In the race to innovate, it's usually lots of failures for every success. It's weird logic, but more failures equals more success. And even if one falls on their face, at least they're moving forward. We usually don't see these failures because we only see the finished product. Business people, athletes, artists, and scientists, to name a few vocations, they fail all the time. But it's out of our view. It's in their offices, at practice, in their studios and laboratories. Out of the public eye, they learn from their mistakes. They make adjustments. They redouble their efforts. Even teachers aren't immune to this. I can't tell you how many ideas I've had for lessons throughout the years. Most of them never get out of the idea stage. Some of them progress to actual lessons. And then even then, some of them didn't turn out the way I imagined. We don't use those again. If you've enjoyed my classes over the years, then you've seen the successful lessons. I have a graveyard full of failures. And I'm not alone. Oprah was fired from her first TV gig. Steven Spielberg was rejected by USC's School of Cinematic Arts twice. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Failure does not mean failure. It's kind of oxymoronic, but failure breeds confidence because you discover that the world did not end and that you get to try again. The only people who never experience failure are those who do not seek out the challenge to better themselves. Risks need to be taken, and that's the main lesson. You'll need challenges, the kind where a positive outcome is not guaranteed. The type where when you do your best, it still might not be good enough. And when that happens, you will find a way to make your best even better. All you have to do is decide which challenges you're going to undertake. Some of you will go global and try to make the world a better place. Some of you will be more local and do things that will help our country, our state, our city. Your challenges could be professional, to help you with your career or your company. And some of you will go inward and take on challenges that could enhance your life or the ones closest to you. There is rarely a bad challenge. So get out there and accept those challenges. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. And while you wouldn't start out trying to fail at something, it could happen. Failure is not something to fear. Go ahead. Fail at something. You'll be in the best company. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Also, thank you to the students and to the parents. On a weekly basis, if you've ever read my newsletter, you know that I am prone to failure. And it seems like weekly I'm asking for your forgiveness. And I just want to thank you for so often forgiving me. One of the things you often say to me is that I am very blunt and very open about things. It's a very proactive thing for me, because if I tried to hide my failures, they would just build up and just cave in. So I say to the students, own them, cherish your failures, just like Mr. Carlson said. You know, the reason why we're all here, and Mr. Carlson, that was a wonderful speech, but we're here to hear our graduates speak. And every year we have a number of graduates who are invited to give speeches to represent their class. And today we're going to start with our valedictorian, Miss Andrea Kwan.
Good afternoon, families, teachers, administrators, and my peers in the graduating class of 2021. It feels great to walk across this stage and receive a diploma, to be applauded by friends and family for 4 years of hard work and accomplishments, to receive flowers and be sent off to the future with blessings and big dreams. And those are all good things. But as we gather here today to celebrate this new milestone and reflect on not just our high school experience, but our entire childhoods, we'd only be seeing a narrow slice of reality without acknowledging the many people who've loved us and guided us, and sacrificed for us so that we could be standing here today. We did not get here on our own. Actually, if the past 4 years were entirely up to us, we would have probably never woken up for zero period, rarely done our homework, and consistently ditched class on Fridays, every teacher's favorite day to surprise us with tests. And yet, here we are, graduating today, a culmination of the love and support we've received from the people in our lives. So let's thank our parents and caretakers who worked hard to provide a roof over our heads and food in our stomachs, who did their best to give us the best, who showed us unconditional love and patience despite our rebellious attitudes, whose hours and hours of driving and cooking and cleaning often went unnoticed or even unappreciated and even unnoticed. Thank you to our teachers who tried their best every day to connect with us and understand our Gen Z minds, who graciously gave us second chances on second chances to turn in those late assignments, and who didn't just teach us how to explode a pumpkin with calcium carbide or why the epilogue of Crime and Punishment actually matters, but instead helped us to grow as people and members of an interconnected world, and not to mention endured a year and a half of teaching to muted gray rectangles. Thank you to my friends who lent me the notes when I fell asleep in class, who lovingly endured my long rants, who shared their lunch with me when I forgot mine, who sometimes risked our relationship in order to tell me truths I was too proud to hear, who reminded me of what's truly important in life when all I could think about were grades in college. When I think about everything that goes into a single student to get them to where they are now, not just academically, but as a person, I realize a truth I should have seen all along. Despite what today's culture would have us believe, we are not self-made. We can either be ashamed of this reality and try to deny its truth, saying that we manifested our own destinies, or we can choose to see and acknowledge our dependence on people and each other. We can choose to live outside the small little bubble of me, not just soaking up resources and looking out for ourselves, not just seeking maximum pleasure and minimum pain, but really going all out, taking chances, and risking failure for something greater than ourselves. And if we do that, I'm confident that we can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Another quick thank you. You know, with this pandemic, we have learned to recreate ourselves over and over again. With just 2 tickets per graduate, there was a demand for a new system here, and that was to stream this graduation. Most of you know we had a little bit of a challenge with that yesterday. We had our senior banquet last night, and I didn't have the link to send to you. So when I got home at 1 o'clock, the link was waiting. So I appreciate and I hope you got the links this morning. I want to thank Thor Audio Solutions, who have done the sound here for the last 8 years, and this year are streaming this graduation. So thank you. Our next speaker to come to the stage is our salutatorian, Miss Sophia Hoffman.
Good morning to all of you, to my classmates, parents, friends, staff, and everyone else here and everyone watching from home. I am one of the 2 salutatorians today, so I'll be keeping this short for you all, and I would like to welcome you all here to celebrate this with us today. This last year and a half has been a lot for all of us, and I'm proud of everybody for being here today, for making it, and for being able to celebrate with us, and some of us with our masks off because we're all vaccinated. It feels like it was such a long time ago when we first came to high school. I've never understood the cliche that high school goes by so fast. Being 14 feels like a lifetime ago to me. And now we finally made it to the end. And this is just the beginning of everything else for so many of us. And I'm not sure that I feel ready for it, and I'm sure a lot of people here agree. And who knows, maybe we never will, but maybe we never will, but here we are today, and it doesn't even feel right that we're done with high school. I mean, we've spent a year and a half almost on Zoom. It doesn't even feel like we've been kind of doing anything, but we've also done so much. And we didn't really get the experience that we all wanted, you know, with our junior prom and everything. But we got this last week where we crammed the whole senior experience into the last few days, kind of like a concentrated senior year in a bottle. And we're all different people than we were 4 years ago, but we're also kind of still the same people. A lot of people have told me that I've changed a lot, and I think that's kind of crazy because I feel like the exact same person. And we're all gonna keep changing, whether we know it or not. And some of us might never even see each other again after today. And when we're kind of a big class, we don't even all know each other, I don't think. And I hope that to all my classmates that at least something in your last 4 years here has made you happy and brought you joy. And we've all done a lot to get here, and most of us are still standing here today, but not all of us. And I would like to take a moment to remember someone that we've lost in our high school years. Jesse Lopez, a fellow student, football player, track runner, and most importantly, a friend. He would be sitting here with all of us today, just about to graduate. And in his honor, I would like you all to join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. Our second salutatorian, I have to tell you, I made a mathematical error. And this student came to me and said, in the most polite, most sincere, most humble way, I think you made a mathematical error. I told you I had lots of mistakes. He sat me down, he walked me through it. He was absolutely correct that we had 2 salutatorians this year. I was so excited, and he again, the humility, and he was so apologetic when actually the apology should have been coming from me. But at this time, I'd like to invite Liam McDonough to the podium for his speech. Your speech is in there, buddy. That's your tap.
To everyone who is here to support our amazing graduating class of 2021, from the parents and guardians, to the siblings and friends, to the teachers and faculty of one Alameda High School and AUSD, thank you for coming. Thank you for aiding us in the journey that has been high school, from the first day of freshman year, where I know I wasn't the only one to get lost in the inescapable labyrinth above what is now the E building, to this moment when we celebrate that we've done it. We are graduating. For many of us, today may be a defining moment in our lives, but our lives are not defined by defining moments. Equally important is the in-between, those little moments. Looking back at some of those little moments, and I'll use the cliche that Sophia said she didn't quite agree with, it feels like just yesterday that I was nervous from our first day of high school. Just yesterday, the knock was telling us awkwardly to hug the person next to us at Link Day. And just yesterday, that in-person school was suspended and we transformed into black squares on a Zoom screen. At the same time, it does feel like a lifetime ago, because each one of us has changed into a different person. In reality, it was neither a lifetime ago, nor was it just yesterday. Our first day of freshman year started approximately 144 million seconds from the beginning of this graduation ceremony. And as a class, collectively, we have spent 5 billion, yes with a B, billion seconds talking, learning, and growing within the walls of Alameda High School. Fair disclaimer, when I say approximately, I mean approximately. So Mr. Jew, if you're gonna fact check me, know that we've got 0 significant figures at best. It may seem trivial to give these numbers in seconds, but you've all already witnessed the power of a few seconds. Like the 10 excruciating seconds spent agonizing while you're waiting to be dismissed after the bell has rung. The 30 seconds frantically finishing a homework assignment while the teacher collects it. And the quite literal 5 seconds you walked after 8:15 that landed you a detention. I finally got one. You're welcome, Dad. Together, it is these quote unquote unimportant seconds that have made our high school experience. Beyond learning the contents of our classes, it is in these moments that we have grown and further learned life's core lessons through observation, trial and error, multiple choice elimination, and guess and check. In these seconds, we have not only studied academics, but we have also developed our identities, discovered passions, made an impact, explored our creativity, and taken naps on the blacktop. Maybe that last one was just me. We've become more responsible, more caring, more reasonable, more adaptable, more aware, more communicative, and of course, most importantly, we have learned to walk on the right side of the hallways. Some of these lessons may have come in a few seconds, in an epiphany, but for the vast majority of us, these lessons have come and will continue to come in the 86,400 seconds of each day. When I reflect on what I missed most about in-person school, it wasn't the big moments like prom or homecoming, but these seconds filled with little interactions with all of you, my classmates in the graduating class of 2021. So I thank you, my fellow classmates, for every casual nod you have given in the classmate in the hall, every question you have asked in the class, and every conversation you have had. Because each one of them, with me or with someone else, has made our high school experiences what they were. It is these countless day-to-day interactions that sum together create community in the first place. And while things like pride activities, spirit days, and assemblies can serve as a catalyst, there's no substitution for the key element in the development of community. I had to fit a nerdy pun in there somewhere. We have become the community that we are, not in the supposed 27 seconds that are our first impressions of each other, nor in the 86,400 seconds of each day. Wait, no. I messed that up. We have become the community we are, nor in the 86,400 seconds of the first day of freshman year. We have become the community that we are in those 5 billion collective seconds we have spent on campus and the billions more we have spent interacting off campus. Just as they have over the last 4 years at Alameda High, remember that each and every one of our actions has an impact, big or small. Although it may be easy to obsess over the big moments and the big decisions, it is crucial to put thought into and appreciate the infinite everyday ones as well. There's no step-by-step, paint-by-numbers, or connect-the-dots guide for how to go about every single one of these little interactions. And even if I could make one, it'd be no good. But I won't leave you empty-handed. No, no, no. Instead, I'm going to abandon 4 years of academic integrity and plagiarized advice from one wonderful Mr. Lamb. So, here goes. Remember, Hornets, it's easy to be mean, but it's so important that you are kind, so please be kind. Thank you all for 220-ish seconds of your time and making these 144 million seconds of high school possible. And congratulations to us, the Alameda High class of 2021.
Thank you, Liam, and thank you for pointing out my mistake, because without that, we wouldn't have had those great words of wisdom. Our next speaker is our ASB president, who will be coming to the podium, Mr. Corey Choi. And by the way, last night's prom king.
Hey everyone, I just want to say this quote real quick. Hey Hornets, I'm Corey Choi, this year's ASB president, and I needed to say it one last time because that's probably the only way half my class knows me. But, so good morning or afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna ask you all to right now reflect on what you're thinking. My graduates behind me are probably thinking, oh, who am I gonna take pictures with after graduation? Where am I gonna eat? Or how long I'm about to talk. It's just clocks in about 5 minutes, so don't worry. But also, I know that some of you behind me are also thinking about what college is gonna be like, what career you're gonna take on, maybe moments after you get your high school diploma, or what life is gonna bring you in general. And that's terrifying. I'm terrified, I know it, because my dream is to be a doctor, and, you know, thank you. But I'm worried about these 500 hours of clinical patient care, these 500 hours of research, these 1,000 hours of volunteer experience. How am I gonna fit that all in just 4 college years? But honestly, when I had this conversation with my friend Sixto, he told me, when are you gonna live your life? And I got a little sad about that. I was like, am I not living my life? Am I just letting all my experiences pass by in front of me? I'm just ignoring what's happening right in front of my eyes because I'm worried about the future. This 7.5 hour MCAT that I have to take, it's not real. It doesn't exist until I have to study and take it. And so I kind of needed a solution for how am I gonna live my life? And you know, I went through my high school years and I've always been an anxious person. You know, all of my friends behind me, they know that's extremely true. It got so bad to the point where I couldn't even order my own food. I'd go to boba shops and I'd go up to them and I'd worried about what I'm gonna order. I don't like those little follow-up questions about ice and sugar. It's just, why isn't it just normal? But, and so, you know, it was always a challenge for me. So I started talking to my dad and he told me to think about things a little differently. Why don't, instead of focusing on those things that don't really matter, why don't you focus on what you ordered and how the boba is gonna taste like and how you're going to enjoy this drink after you get it. And that resonated with me, and this was the concept of mindfulness, and I really want to get into that. I think mindfulness is the key to living your life. I think mindfulness is truly being in the moment. It's seeing what's in front of you and accepting it. It's realizing what the world really is instead of how you just perceive it to be. It's about allowing yourself to be fully present and just appreciating that. Exactly, enjoying the process. And so, mindfulness also helps you with your thoughts too. It can help you realize that your negative thoughts are just that. They're just thoughts. You're in control. The boba lady doesn't care that you want 100% sweetness in your drink. You just have a little sweet tooth, and that's normal. I bet my peers have some sweet tooths too. So, you know, mindfulness, you're in control. You're able to make a positive decision instead of wallowing in your negativity. And I think, like I said, mindfulness is truly the key to living your life. It was the answer that I needed to my friend Sixto's question. This is how I'm living my life. I'm up here standing at this podium and I'm giving a speech at an in-person graduation that I never thought was possible like a year ago. And all of my friends and peers are standing behind me, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all of us that are here right now. And I appreciate that. I'm not worried about being a doctor. I'm not worried about anything. I don't have to study for like 3 months, so that's not real. So, you know, mindfulness has helped me so much, and I invite you all to try it. I want you to just try living in the moment, just realizing what's in front of you, not what's in your head, just what you can see in front of your eyes. And with that, I say, congratulations, class of 2021. I wish you the best.
Thank you, Corey. Our last speaker today is our senior class president, Winston Tran.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I would just like to start off by thanking my mom and dad. My mom is right there. My sister is right there. My dad couldn't make it, but you know. My dad is in the back? Okay, well, yeah, he's in the back. And I would also like to thank each and every single one of you guys coming out here and celebrating this with us. It's been a crazy year, and none of this would be possible without you guys, so thank you. School, for me, is like tying my shoes. I don't like tying my shoes. And so that's pretty much it. I didn't like school. I never liked waking up at 8:45 a.m. I did not like studying for tests, and I definitely did not like doing homework. Yet, for some reason, I still set 5 alarms every single morning just to make sure that I get up for first period. I still made study sessions and studied with friends the night before just to cram for the test. And I still turned in all of my late work no matter how long ago they were due. And so, obviously, school wasn't exactly my favorite, but it was still something that I had to go through, and it was something that we all had to go through. And for these past 4 years, my feelings towards school stayed pretty consistent, up until realizing that senior year was coming to an end. While writing this speech, I started comparing my freshman year self to my senior year self. And it did not take long to figure out how much I have changed and grown as a person. It's like learning how to tie your shoes for the first time and feeling like a more independent person, not needing mommy or daddy to help you tie your shoelaces. And so for me, graduating high school is like learning how to double knot my laces. Not only do I feel more prepared mentally and academically, I feel reassured knowing that all of my loose ends are tied up and that my laces aren't going to get untied. It's clear to say that I have matured very much over these past few years. So in retrospect, a better way to phrase my statement would be, I didn't like school that much. Because yes, it was a very big pain. It taught me far more than just numbers, letters, and words. It taught me valuable life lessons that I will hold as I step into college. This lesson, very notable, I'm sure all of my classmates will know, the bell does not dismiss you. But on a more serious note, lessons like finding who you are as a person, learning how to become independent, but also not being afraid to ask for help. And it's things that we have all heard before, advice that upperclassmen have given us. But it's a different feeling experiencing these lessons for yourself. So let's finish off this knot by tying everything together. Life is not about dreading having to tie your shoes. It's something that you're gonna have to do regardless. Instead, you should try to focus on all the intricate loops and knots that you can learn along the way. There are a lot of things you won't like doing in your life, and many of them you cannot avoid. But just like how you shouldn't walk with untied shoelaces, you should not run away from life's challenges. Like a famous writer once said, she a runner, she a track star. But you should not run away when life gets hard. Thank you.
Thank you, Winston, and thank you to all of our student speakers. At this time, it is my honor to invite Superintendent Scudetti to the podium for a few words of wisdom.
Thank you. How about another hand for all these amazing student speakers and that absolutely gorgeous rendition of the national anthem. Thank you, students. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Alameda Unified School District and its Board of Education, President Miyabanta, Vice President Jennifer Williams, board members Gary Lim, Heather Little, and Megan Sweet. I want to not just congratulate our graduates today, but to thank them with deeper appreciation for the way that they handled this year. And a massive thanks to our families out here. We acknowledge the burdens that this school year placed on you all and are genuinely grateful for your patience and partnership. Communities exist to accomplish what individuals and organizations cannot do alone, and we are very, very happy to be here in community with you on behalf of these students today. Graduates, this was a year that was non-traditional and so challenging for so many obvious reasons, and you were so often inspirationally flexible, adaptable, patient, and creative. We all navigated sharp turns and unknowns in the 2021 school year and moved through a maze of public health information, conflicting guidance, heated debate, maddening delays, but you all, our students, you're back there, so I got to turn. You all, our students, despite the fact that certainty and clarity were in very short supply, you worked over, under, around, and through every challenge that we threw at you this year. 2021, your voices and expressions pushed us as adults to be creative as we tried to find balance in the tension between the need to get you back on campus and our responsibility to do that in as safe a way as we could. You seniors were limited to virtual space for the majority of the year, yet we still watched you build community together, solve problems, create and complete multidisciplinary projects, exchange ideas, make art and make meaning of art, and immerse yourselves in multiple forms of story and science. Some of you struggled through moments of deep depression and isolation, and others of you helped your friends work through moments like that by giving your time, attention, and love even when you were short on that yourselves. 2021, your experience this year is obviously unique compared to classes in years past, and the way you've moved through that experience is to me an indication that with this class, anything is manageable, and more importantly, everything is possible. Your advocacy and your imagination give us a glimpse of new leaders, new contributors, producers in the making, young people that can not only work to fix what's broken in our world, but to expand and amplify the things that are working. For a moment, I'd like to acknowledge our teachers, our classified educators, and our administrators. Join me in thanking them for this year. Our teachers, our administrators, our classified employees. The physical closure of schools during COVID-19 took from you some of your most valuable tools, and on next to no notice, we asked our staff to create experiences that were comparable to the classrooms we were all shut out of. Your innovation, your improvisation, and your adjustments reminded us of how vital and central your work is to the foundational premise of public education. Thank you for your work. Collectively as a community, we were reminded of the things that matter most. Our conversations, connections, interactions, and exchanges. The things that actually make content matter, give it meaning, and ultimately make us all human. Graduates, guys like me telling young folks like you how we know what a struggle it was for this year is probably starting to sound like old folks talking. And to some degree, that's probably true. But the fact is the coronavirus disrupted more class time for more students than any other event in U.S. history, making you and your experience unique. Allow yourselves to relish that uniqueness, to see the ups, downs, highs, and lows of this year as part of an experience that you managed, and as hard as it was at times, the intellectual and emotional muscles you've developed over the past year should leave you ready to go after anything and everything that you want after this. Students, be open to an older generation's wisdom and experience, but never, I repeat, never feel reluctant to ask people, particularly people in power, why and whether or not there's a better way. Be your own best friend, be your own support system, and when you dream, do not let anyone limit what you imagine or envision for yourself, no matter how far you may feel from that vision at any given moment, or how crazy your ideas may feel. Albert Einstein said, and I'm paraphrasing, if your ideas don't sound crazy at first, they ain't got a chance. 2021, you are capable of anything and have already proven that to yourselves. Hang on to those crazy ideas, to each other, and make stuff happen. Congratulations, much love, and best of luck.
Thank you, Superintendent Scudetti. I only have 2 roles here today, introduce people and this next part. Superintendent Scudetti, President Bonta, Vice President Williams, families and honored guests. At this time, I am proud to once again present the graduating class of 2021. Superintendent Scudetti, I assure you and duly certify that every one of these students receiving a diploma today has met the graduation requirements of the Alameda Unified School District.
Given the assurances of the principals and in accordance with the Education Code of the State of California, we happily accept your class.
At this time, I'm going to mention 4 teachers. These 4 teachers are going to call roll one last time. And at that time, these graduates will cross the stage, receive their diplomas, and it'll be an opportunity for us to all acknowledge them individually. So I would like to invite Michael Lamb, Nancy Reed, Kelly Greger, and Sarah Noble, who will call roll one last time. Quick question, is Studio One in the house? Oh, great. All right, guys, I didn't see you there. Thank you. We do have photographers that will be taking a picture of the graduates on the blue lines, guys. You'll see the blue lines on the grass, and you'll have an opportunity to look at those proofs and order those if you want them. Mr. Lamb, the mic is yours. I'll hold the flag.
Lamont? Okay. Sorry. Lamont, Sadiq, Amir, Delvon, Austin, Banks.
Liam McDonough.
Corey V. Choi.
Lydia Jewel Peterson.
Dominic Alfredo Carreras Fleming.
Winston Tran.
Sophia Matilda Hoffman.
Kirsty Trung.
Sky T. Craner.
Samantha Wu.
Andrea Kwan.
Jenna Ermelinda Imoasina Ahing.
Bernadette Abierro. Jacob Street.
Marcus Albertson.
William Michael Ahrens.
Yusuf Mutahar Altreb.
Kiari O'Shea Allen Infante.
Gabriel Amaya.
Jordan Alva.
Mark Joseph Appel.
It's Miss Appel's son.
Taylor Phoenix Andelsek.
Ryan Aoyung.
Michael Jonathan Escaruns.
Alexandria Medina Bang.
Derek C. Balalian.
Diego Barajas.
Josiah Banks.
Mia Bazo.
Noman Batjago.
Isabella Bennett.
Cynthia Naomi R. Bell.
Lilia R. Bernstein.
Daniel Rudy Burnaby.
Jaden Anthony Blea Salinas.
Serena L. Bala.
Hannah Bowles.
Trish Wood. No. Oh, excuse me. Brian Belger.
Sophia Amy Valentine Boarek.
Caitlin Jahala.
Jenna Huang Bui.
Scott's got our back here.
Claire Avis Hoff.
Kai B. Leona Callahan.
Henry Klein Boger.
Dylan L. Cow.
Mireya Borregales.
Cody L. Carter.
Jeannie Faye Alegato Briones.
Emilio A. Casares.
Benjamin S. Bunger.
Nicholas Chet.
Nico. Oh, Nico. Yeah.
Phineas Reese Campbell.
Katrina Kuntika Chandvamo.
Max Hyun Kao.
Haoran Chen.
Evan Kavanaugh.
Jack Chen.
Jason J. Senedoza.
Tina Chen.
I don't know, dear.
Shalita T. Shaheen.
Ryan Yi Cheng.
Adeline Ray Cheney.
This guy is totally blocking.
Baptiste K. Chu.
Haley R. Shea.
Sean Choi.
Cynthia Chen. Jason Chen, excuse me, wrong name. Wrong boy. Sorry about that, Jason.
Leona Toves.
Yeah. Kayleen Chen.
Juliana Amaya. Sorry about that.
Chloe Cheng.
Ethan Zhu.
Ada Uchenna Chibruzi.
Leanne Sayapufa Chu.
Julian Anthony Choi.
Shane Shintaro Connolly.
Rachel L. Chow.
Abby Rose New Connor.
Oh my God.
Jason Sieben.
Don't worry, Gary. Lots of pictures.
Did you get some photos? My card is full.
Cody M. Cunningham.
Bella Jean Connor.
Yimi Gwen Gao.
Yeah! Go man! Scott got him too.
Jacob R. Corfrey.
Samuel Owens Davis.
Sean Christopher Colberg McClellan.